Hello friends, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and in this video we're going to compare two mid-range phones, the Meizu M1 Note along with the ASUS Zenfone 2. So these two devices are priced in the similar category, the mid-range segment, and have similar specs. So we're comparing the Meizu M1 Note with the ZE551ml, that's the 2GB RAM and 16GB variant. So that's where we do the comparison. So these two devices are priced in the same category and the same pricing. They're mid-range phones. So we'll have a detailed comparison. So before going into the detailed comparison, let's first have a quick look at the specs. So both these devices are powered by a 5.5-inch Full HD display. The Meizu M1 Note has an octa-core 64-bit processor with 2GB RAM, and this one has an Intel quad-core chipset with 2GB RAM. The M1 Note has 16GB internal storage, while the ASUS Zenfone 2 also sports 16GB internal storage. But the difference here is that the Zenfone 2 has an expandable storage, while the M1 Note does not have an expandable storage, so you have to live with the 16GB being offered on this device. Apart from that, on the camera front, both these devices have the 13 megapixel rear camera and front facing 5 megapixel camera, so they are similar in the camera aspect. And again, in the battery capacity, both are powered by around 3000 mAh battery, and both these devices are running Android. The M1 Note has a custom Flame OS on top of Android 4.4 KitKat, so that's the OS powering this device. Now the ASUS Zenfone 2 is powered by Android 5.0 Lollipop with a custom Zen UI. So that was the spec aspect. Now moving on to the design and build quality. So design wise, both these devices have similar in terms of the design language. You can see the curved edges on all the four sides, and even the back panel is also curved. So you can see both these have the curved rear panel. While this has a metallic finish, this has a glossy finish very similar to the iPhone 5C, which was released a few years back. Now the finishing is totally different, but both these devices are made of plastic material. Both these have really great quality. Now you can see the front panel again has a lot of similarities. Both these are 5.5-inch devices and have a front 5 megapixel camera. The device has the Meizu M1 Note has just one button, and the other ones are on screen. And the Zenfone 2 has 3 capacitive touch buttons. They are not backlit. So in the design and build quality wise, both these devices are pretty good, but we will give it to the Meizu M1 Note because this has a lighter build. It is light in weight than the Zenfone 2. Zenfone 2 is pretty heavier, and compactness we would give it to the Meizu M1 Note. And overall build quality, even though this is glossy finishing, it does look pretty premium. The Zenfone 2 is also not bad, but overall taking into consideration the design and build quality, we would say the Meizu M1 Note is slightly better build device. Now talking about the display, again both these devices have 5.5-inch Full HD display, IPS LCD panel, and we would say the Meizu M1 Note is better here because the M1 Note has really great display. It's pretty sharp and much sharper than the Zenfone 2, and it's more colorful and vivid than the Zenfone 2. Zenfone 2 is also pretty good in this category, but not really that impressive as the Meizu M1 Note. And overall, one of the best aspects of the M1 Note is the display, which is pretty good and has great colors. The touch response is also much more smoother than what you see on the Zenfone 2. But all in all, Zenfone 2 is also pretty decent in terms of the overall display aspect, but slightly ahead is the Meizu M1 Note with the 5.5-inch Full HD display. So next up, we are looking at the software and performance side. So Meizu M1 Note has this custom Flame OS, which is on top of Android 4.4 KitKat. This is custom UI. You can see a lot of changes with respect to the notification center. You have this custom toggles. The UI is mostly like a lot of similarities with the iOS. You can see the options on the left side, and the right panel has these options. So a lot of options included from very similar to the iOS, and this has multiple home screens and does not have an app drawer. So all in all, this is a pretty good UI. It's polished and does offer pretty good amount of customization. So you can see there is a personalized option, and you get a lot of themes and customization options, very similar to the MIUI, but it is right now in Chinese, but that's not a big issue. You can still download and get a lot of customization options. So all in all, this does have pretty good UI, and you can see the multitasking is also differently managed on this device. This just have only one button, that's a home button, and for others you have this on-screen back button, and multitasking is implemented this manner. So overall, the M1 Note has this Flyme OS, which is on top of Android 4.4 KitKat. So that's one concerning aspect. It's not running the latest Android. So if you're looking for latest Android, you have the Zenfone 2, which runs Android 5.0 Lollipop, and this has the custom Zen UI. So Zen UI, we have talked about this when we reviewed the Zenfone 5. So this is a highly customized OS. So you can see here notification center is completely customized. You get multiple you have this app drawer, and a lot of options are included. So this is a custom UI, and this is again a feature rich UI. There are lots of features included. So it's again a highly customized OS. It does support for themes, but it is not as rich as what you see on the Meizu M1 Note with the custom options available. So that's not available on the Zenfone 2. And apart from that, Zenfone 2 has an issue with bloatwares. There are lots of bloatwares included, lot of unnecessary apps, which some of which we can probably uninstall. But having said that, it does take up a lot of memory and internal storage, and you need to optimize the device by stopping background apps. That's one big issue with the Zenfone 2. But then overall performance looks pretty good. There are no issues. Both these devices have very good performance, and there is no lag or issues. The MediaTek chipset on the Meizu M1 Note also performs very well. Occasionally you can see some lag here and there, but not really a big issue. That can be seen even in the Zenfone 2. But overall, we would say both these devices are really good in terms of the overall performance. Both have 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. Now one big important difference between these two devices is the SD card support. The ASUS Zenfone 2 has SD card support, so you can expand the storage via micro SD card and also install the apps. So that was the software and performance side. So software wise, both these devices are pretty good. If you love customization, M1 Note is slightly better, but if you are looking for latest software, then probably the Zenfone 2 is better with the Android 5.0 Lollipop. Now talking about the cameras, both these devices have 13 megapixel rear camera and a front facing 5 megapixel camera. So we have already done a camera comparison, that's a camera sample comparison with these two devices. You can check out a YouTube channel for this video. Now talking about the interface, both these devices have pretty good interface. The M1 Note has a simple interface, while ASUS Zenfone 2 retains the same interface which it was available on the Zenfone 5. And both these devices have pretty good amount of features. Now talking about the camera quality, we would say the Meizu M1 Note with the 13 megapixel rear camera performs much better. The colors are much vivid and sharper, and detailing is also very good on the Meizu M1 Note. But the Zenfone 2 was slightly in behind the M1 Note in terms of the overall color quality, and the sharpness levels also were better on the M1 Note. And again, video recording, we would say the Meizu M1 Note is slightly better in terms of the video recording. The front facing 5 megapixel camera, it's almost similar, not much of a difference. Both these devices are pretty much average for selfie experience, and does give a decent amount of features as well. Now talking about the final aspect, the battery performance, both these devices have the 3000 mAh battery, and here we would say the Meizu M1 Note performs better. We already done a battery performance test on the Zenfone 2 and found it to be slightly disappointing. And here the Meizu M1 Note can get you more than a day, at least 1 day with heavy usage, but with Zenfone 2 it's slightly lower than the Meizu M1 Note. So now there is a big difference in pricing. So the M1 Note is priced 12K, while the same spec ASUS Zenfone 2 is priced 15K. So there is a clear 3K difference. So for the additional 3K, what you get is the latest software and expandable memory card. So that's the two big difference you get when paying 3K additional. So if you're not really worried about that, if you're okay with 16GB internal storage, and then you get a better camera and a slightly better software experience, and also better display and design and build quality. Now there is one important aspect apart from that, the 4G LTE support. Both these devices also support 4G LTE, the M1 Note only supports FDDLT and there's no support for TDDLT right now, but the Zenfone 2 has support for both bands in India. So that was a detailed comparison of the Meizu M1 Note with the Zenfone 2. That's the ZE551ml with 2GB RAM and 16GB internal storage. So that's all guys. Hope you liked this video. If you have any queries, drop in a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with the queries. So if you like this video, do hit the like button and also subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. Thanks for watching this video. Have a great day.